Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Catchup, and today our guest is the doc, no other than Miss Karen Gaynair. How you doing?
Fine, thank you. I made it. I finally got to meet the famous Naked Salmon, first of all, with her beautiful smile and laughter, catching up with everybody.
I am honored because you were classes ahead of me. What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 1994.
In 1994.
Can you believe? 24. I had to think. Imagine I had to think about the number. That's how I know I'm getting older. Not old yet, you know, because I always say that you don't turn old yet until you turn 80, and I just turned 40. Can you believe?
I'm 40 next year.
Oh, so we're not that far apart. That's awesome.
You look beautiful, by the way, in Florida. So we're in Fort Lauderdale. We're in Tamarack, by the way. So thank you so much for saying yes.
I tried to look like a doctor today. I figured I might, since we're going to meet in the park and not at the beach.
You're a beach bum like Cecile. So you love the beach like Cecile. Cecile,
I grew up on the beach road in Negril and thing, and that's a lot of what influenced me to be how I am today and choose the career that I chose, you know.
Yes.
But if I had known that I had the choice, or if I had the choice to meet you like Christmas down at the beach, I would have told you to come to the beach club, to the Negril Beach Club, and meet me at the beach by the lifeguard stand.
That's where you are.
And I would be in my blue bikini with my hair all like, whoa. And when I act like that, people think like, oh my God, she's crazy and she's so unprofessional. And that is what I love.
Yes.
Because you're just real. Wonder.
And you're just real.
And you know, what has been fascinating about watching you and everybody else on the social media and all is that there's a lot of real people out there.
There is.
And it's just for people to, and it's the real people connecting is really what I've been seeing. You know? And the people that you've interviewed so far that I've seen and looked at interviews, a lot of them were in the Leo Club with me, they were athletes with me. And so it makes me feel so extra proud to meet you. I feel so special being here because there are so many special people who have come out of Mannings. I'm not gonna lie, I get goosebumps. Yes. This is to show you how I'm real.
Guys,
listen, if I could literally show you, which is what I've been doing, and say, if I could show people how my emotions get so exaggerated with my illness, I would really, that's what I try to do, is educate.
Yes.
And seriously, it's just because I've seriously just felt really compassionate about what I said.
Yes.
It came out in my skin.
So get everyone caught up from you graduated from Mannings till now. That's a high level overview from Mannings till now. Where have you been? What have you been up to?
All right. Well, Mannings inspired me to go ahead and do a lot. Between going to school and growing up on the beach, I had a lot of talent that I could have used to become many things, which is what I talk about a lot and explore, so that people can see how much we as Jamaicans and Mannings people in general are so talented. So anyway, I had a lot of opportunities, whether working as a lifeguard, finishing up my dive master course and thing, which is what I did too after Mannings. But the first thing that I wanted to mention, though, is right after Mannings in 1994, the summer of 94, I ended up in Belgium, in Antwerp, Belgium, where I went to learn Dutch. So anyway, so I basically went to Belgium for the year and had that experience of surviving a place where I'm black, you know, whether you want to call me brown in or how you are, address me, because that's another sticky issue too I talk about too, is racism. So basically I'm in a country where it's like European and I blended in like Moroccan, you know, and so they had their political issues with Moroccans being there as well, and their racism was there as well. So I experienced that, and I had to stand up for myself from I was 16 being in Belgium against people who were saying racial remarks to me on the tram, like what this Moroccan doing, you know, and they're saying it in Dutch. And I would turn around and tell them in Dutch, like, who are you know? Man, careful what you're saying, because I can't speak your language. And my father, my host father, who's a white guy, you know, he runs the line, or he works on the line, which is true. My host family actually worked on the bus line and stuff. So I felt like, you know what, I'm somebody right now who can stand up and, you know, kind of take my place.
So who you went from Belgium to studying, so now a doctor?
So basically, with all of that talent that I had and thing, and just being confused about what I want to do, because you can see so much, you know, like being
a lot of
exposed
passion,
to things.
A lot of energy, a lot of talent.
between learning the language, getting all that skill and talent, between sports as well, because I was a big athlete as well in swimming, triathlon, water polo. I didn't get scholarships in those areas. So basically the exposure from going to Belgium, going to college as well, and starting clubs. I basically started to do more of the club work, the community service as well, work in the hospital, and then I ended up in medical school in St. Martin.
So your current location is here in Florida?
Yes. So I eventually opened up my practice. I eventually went on to specialize after medical school. I got into residency. So one thing is finishing your medical degree. So you can be a doctor of osteopathic medicine, which they call the DOs. They do a lot of alternative medicine, but either way they have a philosophy in medicine. But then you have medical doctors too. But whether you're a medical doctor or a DO, you can become a doctor, a physician. And then after that, you specialize. So because I went to medical school in St. Martin, and then I went to England to do my clinicals, because we had a choice as to where to do the clinical work, the actual bedside teaching and mannerisms.
Yes.
So what happened is in St. Martin, we do the basic sciences, the book work, and then we can choose between Ireland, England, or the US. So with everything I just told you about, without that technology being available, I wanted to go somewhere like England, where they don't rely on technology, which kind of worked out well, because I chose a clinical site outside of London, in the country, in Blackburn, where it was only like 4 of us that was being taught in between 2 hospitals. So we got a lot of one-on-one attention, a lot
from
of
St. Martin to England.
So yes, so from St. Martin, still in medical school, not even a doctor yet. So in medical school, we got a chance to go to St. Martin for the book work and experience like 2 hurricanes in between, caught up on that. That was another experience. So cut a long story short, we end up in England. Some of my colleagues were in Ireland and some in England, in US. September 11 happened in between that. So during all of these times too, while I'm going to medical school, I was tutoring. One of the ways that I got money to carry my way through medical school is, apart from borrowing student loans, I became a teacher's assistant.
Yes.
Which was so awesome, as a great privilege, because you have to be an A student in the class to get to be a teacher's assistant and to tutor. You have to get permission from the school to do that. So that was a fulfilling thing for me, because I love teaching. You can tell I like talking, but I love to give back, and that helped me to kind of get, like, the academic side of me. I've always been there. So I moved on to England and learned from there. Left from England, went to Ohio, to where you are living at now. So I went to Cleveland, Ohio to finish up, because then I wanted to get to know the American system, and I needed to get a job in this American system because I wanted to specialize. So basically we get our diploma, and I ended up getting a master's as well in medical science. So I did some extra work in medical school. So I'm a master of medical science, and I'm also a medical doctor. I ended up opening up my own practice by myself, and did my own contracts, and negotiated with insurance companies, and negotiated with the hospital. So the hospital would pay me an income guarantee for 1.5 years. I've gone through it where I have a doctor's office and people are very disrespectful, you know, and they're racist just the same. What you mean your name Gaynair? We never see nobody brown name Gaynair before, you know, Jamaica, you know, come to the front. How you mean you're Jamaican? I never heard you talk Jamaican. Well, I'm speaking like this. How should I speak? You want me to chat on patois, make you know me a Jamaican?
Oh my God.
You know, so people were very proud that I'm a black female, Jamaican, have my own practice, because you're one of the only ones around here. It felt really fulfilling, still does. Feel very, very fulfilling that I did it myself and set it up. My family, very, very proud. I named it Gaynair Family Medicine after my family name, especially after my grandpa. And my grandpa was given 1 year to live for when he had cancer, and he lived for like 13 years. So he was a very big inspiration too. So either way, all of this influence, like I said, brought me right back to medical school, right back to family medicine, where I could deal with patients from the womb to the tomb, from babies, from newborns all the way to dying patients.
Tell me about your family.
Well, I have my own little family. Unfortunately, I was divorced, like a lot of people who we've interviewed.
Marriage hard. Look here, marriage hard.
Me say, when you interviewed Froggy the other day, my germs guy, germs, love you. By the way, thanks for mentioning my video I did at Manning's, and nice to see. It made me feel special because I don't actually see it.
I was on there. But
I was so happy that I did see it.
But
So anyway, so I had my own family too, and when he talked about his family, how he went through separation, I was like, yay, it's not only me.
No, it's
Which
many.
is that the point of us talking, is that I try to outreach about those things and say, you're not alone. But I went through a rough time in marriage. I was married to an American, and we went through a lot of cultural differences. But I get to share my son I came up with a plan where I wanted everything to be the same for my son. So that way it wouldn't be too much of a shock for him. So fortunately, my ex-husband is around the corner. It's not far. So every 2 weeks we get to share him, and we split the holidays. So that has been one of the
that's good.
challenging things, but it's been making me very happy, give me something to focus on as well.
Okay.
You know, it keeps me busy.
So we're gonna go back into Manning school days.
Alrighty.
We're gonna talk about your favorite teacher. Who is the favorite teacher? You only get maximum of 2.
No worries.
Your favorite subject and your favorite memories that make you just feel good inside. So who was your favorite
Miss
teacher?
Morrison
What did she
was
teach?
my principal of business teacher.
Why did you like her so much?
I just love her. First of all, I just love how she taught. I just love her as a person. I don't know why, but I'm somebody who transferred from Campion and went to Vaz and thing in Kingston, and ended up in Manning's in 3rd form. Firstly, I just felt very welcomed when I got there. And in 4th form is where we focus on our CXC subjects, and 5th form. And principal of business was one of the things that I never did before I went to Manning's. And I was naturally a business person. I just kind of have that natural ability, just like how I became my own CEO in my practice and do a lot now with real estate and hospitality. I'm into hotel management, hotel selling rooms and so forth. So either way, I applied all of that to my principal of business class, and it became very practical. It was a very practical thing for me. Like, it was just like choice, like everyday thing.
So that's your
since I
favorite
was
subject
little.
too?
Yeah.
So favorite teacher
I
and
apply
subject.
everything to that, you know.
Yeah.
So when I would go back to Manning's, I would try to find her, but she's not there anymore.
Yeah.
I can't find her. I don't know where she's at.
You
in the
never
world,
know with this
but I
Facebook
want her
post.
to find me, because she's the one.
So put out a black. Anybody who knows, tell them.
The second person that really touched me, a lot of people, teachers have. My biology teacher, I noticed Froggy mentioned her name, but I forgot her name. She was a very humble person too.
Is it Mrs. Boyd?
Mrs. Boyd. She was very humble, and I always asked her, why she never become a doctor?
Look here,
And-
Mrs. Boyd, now stop coming up in my interviews.
But Mrs. Thompson, Audrey Thompson, I know you said 2 and 1.
Listen, I tell you, man,
Miss
not
Audrey
thief,
Thompson,
man.
me and her started the Leo Club of Manning's, and that was the most precious thing to me.
Hold it up so they can see.
Is that basically you interview with a lot of Leos, and I'm
Yes.
very proud of you guys, because you know, continuing the philosophy, like Cecile, what my best friend, sister, girl, she's awesome. So I've seen all of these Leo people, Leo Club members
Who's your
were
best
there.
friend, Patrick?
Basically, Patrick was a mentor for me to help me start the Leo Club. When Patrick was in Leo Club herself,
Well,
his
Patrick
dad,
did act back in the
Mr.
days. No one
still had
act.
one
I
for you,
know
one for you.
that Patrick. Me
You
no
know,
know
see how
him there.
Patrick cut off his hair
Me
and
no
platinum
see.
it up, man.
Which
He's in
country?
He's in Saint
Look here,
Thomas,
I had a
Saint
crush on
Thomas,
Patrick for the longest while. I saw him
You hear
and
that,
Dion
Patrick?
Miller on stage when I'm a little bit. You know, and I said, what? Oh, Jula come down my face. I said, what?
I know that
The
name
waistline don't have nothing. Just,
That's why he's still a hot.
Oh.
That's why I'm still in the hotel industry
Patrick.
doing well and doing spa work, because he's a natural
They're
person
gonna
who
forget
loves
some
hospitality
spa
too.
They're gonna
Yeah,
get
man.
some spa.
Trust me, Patrick is the bomb, and Patrick is like a brother. And guess what? This is how close we are. Is that when I came to Florida, guess who I stayed with on the couch? Patrick auntie, Aunt Bev, who is still right here with me, and Christine. So we're all seriously like
Connected.
brothers and sisters. We're
Connected,
really
man.
very tight, and we're all in hospitality. We all grew up in the hotel industry at
And
some
Cecile
point in the
too, she
other.
loved-
So
girl
Cecile
can
is an
cook.
awesome chef, even
Yeah.
when she was making her plum sauce to raise money for even her mom's illness. You know, all of these things they've done. Fundraising, we've been doing from high school. Organizing, we're doing from high school. People don't know we're doing this long time. We've been giving back and, you know, doing all these things. Then I see
Memories.
them, they start chorale and all of these things at
What's your
Manning's, which is
favorite
awesome.
memories? about
All of
Manning's?
those things you just heard. All of those
Oh.
things without repeating, because we don't have a lot of time.
So if you had to choose keywords, just keywords to describe your personality back in high school, what words come to mind?
Outgoing,
Outgoing. What else? That's it?
determined,
Determined. Fun.
Passionate. Oh, fun. That's understood. I'm just kidding. No. Very competitive.
Very competitive. And what about today? What about today? Is it the same
kind?
Thing? Is it the same?
Yes.
Is the
probably
same?
Too kind.
Probably too. What did you used to believe about yourself back in high school that now you look back, you said that was totally bullshit, that wasn't true? Know that you're older and wiser looking back. Something that you used to believe about.
You know,
Karen.
I used to probably think that I would have a bigger family.
Yes.
You know, and live the perfect life, you know, and that just, when I have one now, I'm like, Lord God, that's so much work. It's worse how I'm sick with the nerve damage thing and the back surgery I have. That this is nice just to get out and just be able to make it here today.
Oh my goodness.
You know? But seriously, I didn't know I would go through so many challenges and be able to overcome them.
Yes.
I've gone through a lot and I'm proud of myself, you know, how much.
What advice would you give your younger self now looking back?
Always listen more, like what a lot of people say. Continue to listen more, read more.
Read more.
I wish I was a reader.
I'm not a reader. Girl.
Big up to Marsha, read a friend from Mannings. Anyway, she will be my book specialist. So I'll try writing some books. Because as you can see, me have whole heap to say. Whole heap.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously, but I really love that because it keeps you up to date with that. It makes you have conversation. It really does bring out a lot of things, you know. But it really can give you a focus and thing and meditate. You know, you can sit, read a book. You know, I never really... But I got to enjoy myself more. I've got to learn about myself even more and love being with myself even more. Because I don't have my patients that I'm around anymore like I used to, my office to go to like I used to. So I have to make that extra effort to kind of reach out to people, which I didn't think I would have to do before.
So is the accident that you had the most challenging season of your life?
Oh, yes.
The most?
Yes.
So tell us about that accident.
So, unfortunately, in Daytona Beach, when I was doing my residency training, I was at the stoplight heading home. I lost my job and I was in the middle of appealing. I actually went to the meeting to try to get back my job that day, looking nice with my hairstyle and thing. Was in my ex-husband's car at the time. Anyway, I was pulling up at a stoplight, a 4-lane road, and I looked in the rearview mirror to see if anybody was coming as defensive driving. And this pickup truck didn't stop. It just kept coming. And I really braced for the hit. I literally was like, and put my right foot on the brake and braced for the hit. And the man didn't stop and hit the car. I was in a Chevy Impala, which is a long car. And the whole of the back of that went in. So I ended up basically getting a whiplash injury that affected my nerve. And only when I had the accident is when I had this headache, this left-sided headache, like a ringing, like a zing. And, you know, I remember feeling nervous, and basically I went to the ER, got checked out, they sent me home. And it's like a week after that is when I felt the back pain, the pulling sensation in the neck, the back, and all of that. So I started going to doctors then, did therapy, ended up getting my new job, continued to do therapy, opened my new practice. So basically I had the accident and continued to work with pain. Burning all in my neck. Burning is really what I had a lot in the hump and in the scapular area. So that basically that initial hit affected my right side. But I would sit and just get the numbness in my leg and shake it off. Cho. My staff would be like, Dr. G, you all right? And I'm like, no, Cho, it's okay. And, you know, a matter of fact, so the accident happened 2006, which is about 12 years now. So I go through pain from 12 years now of pain and work with it. And it's in 2006, like let's say 6 years after the accident is when I basically wanted to be outdoor like this because I don't like being inside. I like to just kind of change up the activity level. So I started playing tennis. And when I was playing tennis, I couldn't stand up on my left leg one day. I basically went up for a shot one day and I could feel a shock through my spine when I went to land. So between the tennis aggravating the old injuries from the accident, nobody knew what was happening. I went through a period of time in 2012 where I spent lots of money, like $30,000 US with insurance. And I was at the chiropractor one day and somebody massaged my neck. And what happened is I got up from the massage laughing about how orgasmic it was and how it tender and nice, but Lord, it hurts. And I got up and my heart started racing. My skin started changing color and I was like, Richard, I'm gonna lie down on the stretch table. So I lie down a little bit and all of a sudden my skin red, all of my skin red. The arms, the legs, muscles start jumping in my cheeks, around here got numb. So all of these nerve things were flaring up in front of people. So I tell them to call the chiropractor, and he came around the corner and said, Karen, oh my God, it looks like you have RSD, Reflex Sympathetic Dystrophy. So basically what happened is I had the nerve damage in my neck, and somebody set off the nerve in my neck. And the nerve right here has a little node, a little ganglion that supplies the cardiac region, the respiratory, anyway, all in medical terms, the heart and the lungs and everything. So what was happening is that it stimulated it and made my heart race, made my breathing act up, made my skin flare up. So that was like January of 2013, and nobody knew what they didn't believe me. I went to the emergency room, I was blown off, nobody believed. They gave me nerve medicine, and I couldn't sleep for like 2-3 days when everybody's sleeping. Continued, wanted to exercise. And I couldn't walk past 3 minutes. I'm somebody who used to walk for 60 minutes with the burning in my feet, with the burning in my arm and shoulder. Work out same way and just stop when it burned. Work out, stop. But all of a sudden I get in difficulty walking around my same route. So that was the most challenging thing, is that, whoa, how come I can't walk? I'm sitting on the grass and hoping to make it back home. Because the back pain ended up going into the leg, the side of the leg, like what still happens now. So I have to lean over on the bridge, like lean over on something and make it ease off, and then continue to go back to where I come from. So I called my lawyer because I found out that the hospital that did all these MRIs missed out on a ruptured disc in my lower back. It's a Jamaican doctor found it for me. And I could not sit down like this. I used to sit and be restless, like real restless, like changing positions every minute. And because he gave me the epidural, I could sit down nicely, calmly now and talk to you without moving around. So the lawyer said to go to a surgeon, and thank God the surgeon listened. All I did was go and say, listen, I have difficulty walking. Everybody don't believe me. And yes, them think me crazy. Been to psych, been to rheumatology, everybody. They've tried medications that not helping, and so on. Maybe help a little bit, but not a lot. And he looked at my spinal, on my MRIs that were done like from the year before and the previous year, because I started seeing new doctors, more neurologists, more orthopedists. And he found a tumor on my spine. I had what they call an arachnoid cyst on my thoracic spine. So, and it was, the rib cage has 12 vertebrae or 12 bones, and mine was from T4 to 9. So he told me that basically everything that I just discussed, the symptoms I was having, the pain, the overheating problems, the headaches, that basically the neck pain, especially the burning, that it may be the tumor and the nerve damage that I had from the accident. So basically accident gave me a whiplash injury that caused this RSD, or reflex sympathetic dystrophy, otherwise known as chronic regional pain syndrome. It's a very rare disease. It's something that is very rare, and it affects the limbs. And I have one of the worst stages where the goosebumps pop up in the arms and the legs whenever the weather, even the cold breeze can make it come on. The heat has made me sick the other day from overheating. It made my skin very red till I had to go to the emergency room, and I was in hospital too. So I've been learning over the years about this RSD and also this arachnoid cyst on my spine. So I've been learning about my body where over this past year, just this 1 year alone, I've had a couple near-death experiences where I had some dizziness, where I was really very dizzy just because my body's behind on fluids. It's like I don't want to drink a lot of water because I lose it through peeing a lot every minute. And you don't want to talk about that every day, you know? That's another thing we women are embarrassed about, or people are urinary incontinence.
Yes.
But as a doctor, I don't mind educating people about myself so that you can learn. Because these are rare things, and if you guys know people who have difficulty walking, unexplained pain, think about the spinal cord, think about nerve issues, because a lot of these things are out there that people just missing because they don't know about it. It doesn't mean that it's not real, but people don't know, and they don't know how to deal with us. Doctors don't know how to deal with us when we're saying we're fine too, and that basically I'm all right. They actually think, some of them actually think it's a problem when you're fine and you kind of tolerating it, you're all right with not seeing anybody, it's okay. They think that maybe you're, mental or so on, even if you are, it's no problem. But what I try and instigate is the bedside mannerisms, is that even if people don't know about these things, be aware of it. Be receptive about learning, because that affected my whole career. It affected even how I get up every day. Sometimes, some days I don't want to get up and go. Sometimes if it wasn't for my son, sometimes I'm like, oh, let me stay in the bed longer. So thank God for my family. They've got to learn about this a lot too with me. It's been very difficult for them to get to understand this. It's difficult for a lot of people because yeah, it's a lot of pain, and it can get really, it can get it's like you can make you feel miserable.
Yes.
So if you're really not aware of what's going on with your body and thing, you won't get better. So the good thing is that I've been pushing myself for the past few years. I feel like a lot of things have been getting better. I avoid lifting, avoid twisting, I just avoid certain things, and just continue to try and reach out, continue to try and do, find different projects to do. So that helps me to kind of keep going. Is my family gets me involved in projects, or I push them to say, hey, get me involved, let me know what's going on, So this was very sweet, this was very inspirational for me, because I got to see a lot of people going through similar things that I went through. It makes me feel inspired to keep going, to keep pushing myself, to keep going towards my goals of writing the book, of, continuing what I do in the education.
What are you most proud of?
I'm proud that I'm here, being able to do this interview right now. Because it took me a lot to get out of the bed, as simple as you see people and don't know. So that's been my philosophy these past few years, is you see people and you don't know what's really going on with them.
You don't.
And that one smile, I'm proud of you with how you're doing all of this, because that inspires me, because, you're like a role model to me, even though you said you graduated after me, people call and think, But what I'm proud of mostly is how people reach out to me and tell me how they're glad to hear my story, because it made them call for help when their grandchild was abused. And it's people from Westmoreland. I didn't realize how much of us have gone through so much in America in general, whether it's domestic violence or the child abuse. They have the hashtag #MeToo campaign going on, and it takes a lot of us as human beings to really talk about those things, because it's embarrassing. The people who hurt us were people who we love, and they're right around the corner.
And most of the time they were hurt by someone else too.
And they were, my ex-husband was the first too. He went through a worst thing in his life too. Yeah. So everybody has their past.
Everybody has their
past. And I'm so proud how I can use my past and my present and my future to really show people that, listen, first of all, I'm so proud that I did a lot, and people are, and I don't feel bad about saying that I don't have my practice anymore and not working right now.
Because you did it.
Because I'm retired, and I worked so hard from when I was in college that I have my pension, my social security, my Medicare, So I have to. So basically, I put out those messages that people go through stuff that in 1 second, your life can change. And that what I preach is quality of life, is that you must enjoy these moments to the fullest.
That is success for you.
And what makes me proud is you guys are doing it. You guys are continuing to network. You guys are continuing to give back. And that alone is satisfying to me. That's what makes me happy, is seeing people have fun, is enjoying, that wellness, and just seeing love. Love. It's nice to love. What is wrong with love? It's just doing it in the right way. You know what I mean?
When you die, what do you want us to remember about you?
I like what you say, when you die, because some people say if you die.
No, when you die.
That's just like a joke. So when we talk about death and dying, and they get so like, but seriously, when I die,
what do you want us to remember? One
legacy I want to remember is that, listen, one thing you can say about Karen is real and gave back in whatever way I could. Whether it's being at school and brought in people from Chicago to bring back towards our athletic team. The triathletes came from Chicago, and right now they basically got inspired to continue to do a program in south side of Chicago, where President Obama was from, where they take care of the inner city kids and teach them through sports how to be disciplined and how to, be successful. And all of those things make me so happy, because we as somebody from Mannings, from Negril, Westmoreland did that. Like, wow, and they still keep in touch. These are older people who saw us doing triathlons and came to Negril and saw how we got the community together. That is what made me feel good, is going back home and reminiscing. Like, I was looking into moving home the other day because of that same thing. And because I ended up getting sick and going to the hospital, I realized that the care there wasn't good. And that we still need to continue working on the hospital care. I ended up coming back and say, you know what, let me focus on my son. Let me focus on my family. Let me focus on me still, and continue to get better, continue to do my projects here in Florida, But Jamaica is where my heart is because of
Jamaica
everything.
nice.
Jamaica sweet,
Jamaica
bad.
nice.
Jamaica nice. And no matter what's going on, I know it's getting better, and I hope it continues to do so.
So that's the last question I had.
Awesome, so
that's what my sons always say. I want to say thank you for participating and for showing up. It's very tough to get people to participate in Catch Up, believe it or not. Not many people are comfortable with coming on camera. So from my heart, thank you. And we'll finally meet in person.
Yes, it was very good. Thank you very much. Sorry for chatting you out so much. That's what you get for getting all these people on Catch Up.
Don't worry,
we can chat, and then you find out that we all know each other in some way, form. That's why we're the ones you pick, I guess. And I believe it or not, find out about you through another man in person.
There you go.
Who I met in Florida.
I said, God, whoever I'm supposed to sit with, I sit with. Yes. Because sometimes who I am planning, God said, So I'm just flowing. I am, as much as how it's hard for me to go with the flow, I am just, God, whoever should be beside me will be.
And you're a great listener, which is hard to find. You know, you're very good about just listening and then roll with the flow as to, okay,
it's not about me.
Pointers to pick up on from this.
It's about you, right?
You know, which is awesome. Because it was hard, you know, with all that I went through, I'm like, Lord, gee, what do I say? Because I don't work no more. Lord, all them people that work, I have them one thing. And
was it hard?
Good.
It's not about that. But it's about people catching up with you, the essence of you, this thing. This is a shell. But the being that's inside catching up with you and connecting with you. Yeah. That's what Catch Up is about.
I love that.
Yeah?
I love that.
With that, I'm going to close us out.
Beautiful.
So from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, we want to say thank you for joining us for another episode of Catch Up. She's going to put on her glasses now.
Oh, you know. So we do it in a
Please like our videos, share our videos, tag Karen and her friends, and please join us for another week.
That's kisses for you. Oh.
Of Catch Up. Thank you so much, guys. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.
Later.
You cut me up.
Awesome.
Oh, my goodness.